Kimi Räikkönen has won the Malaysian Grand Prix from Kubica and Kovalainen. Lewis Hamilton in 5th to stay ahead of the World Championship battle. But Mark, it was the manner and the margin of Räikkönen's victory that really makes an impact around the paddock at the moment.
Yeah, it does. It just emphasises that Ferrari are back. Räikkönen, current world champion, underlined his performance again by winning this race. And I think it's unfortunate for Massa what happened. He certainly should have had a better result than what he did.
Lewis's job was to try to salvage what he could from the day. It didn't really work out, but we can hear from Lewis right now his story of the race.
Everything went so smooth for you in Melbourne. A different story here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got off to a very, very good start. I was very, very happy with that. Jumped from 9th to 5th, I believe. And was pushing Mark for a long, long time, but being behind someone is extremely difficult. So it doesn't matter how much quicker you are. It makes it extremely difficult to get past, but he drove fantastically well. And then we were in a good shot for 3rd place, and then the wheel gun at the pit stop. So I did the best job I could with it, but I also ran out of... I didn't run out of water, it just didn't work, so I'm very, very thirsty.
What was going through your mind when you were sitting there just waiting for the mechanics to get that wheel sorted out in that stop?
I could do with a beer.
Fair enough. Just tell me about the amount of time you got stuck behind Mark Webber. Do you think that's what cost you a better result here today?
Besides the pit stop, perhaps, yeah. I mean, we pushed very, very hard to get 4th at the end, and I really wanted that point. I didn't believe we could get it, but he drove really well again. Jarno did a great job.
Tell me about the lessons that you'll take away with you from this weekend.
The great thing is I was able to drive the race even though I didn't have any water, and I feel fine. I feel better than I did last year. And, you know, I think we just have to make sure that the guns are working next time, and also do a better job in qualifying.
Cheers, mate. You can go and have the beer now.
I think every driver in this fiercely hot battle this afternoon deserves a beer, but he talked about the start there from his point of view. It's a very good start as well from Felipe Massa's angle as well. He defended very well against Räikkönen.
He did. Räikkönen tried to have a run down the inside, and actually I think he had a little think about going there, but he just backed off at the last moment, and Massa took the lead of this race. Clean start for everybody concerned. Lewis Hamilton there at the rear, just coming into contention, making up those grid positions, getting slightly squeezed in the middle of that pack there, but Lewis came out of it very well. But again, the Ferrari's very dominant off the start, and with no launch control, no traction control, seemed to be pretty clean for all the guys.
And the quality of driving throughout that grid at the start deserves praise, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely so. I think a lot of the guys look, they're in close contention. There's certainly a will to will at this point. But, you know, you've got some great skills out there, and they managed to keep it all on track.
So important from Felipe Massa's point of view that he tried to put one over his teammate Kimi Räikkönen today in the all-Ferrari battle. But Räikkönen judged it to perfection. A fantastic in-lap to enable him to get past in the pit stop.
He had a great in-lap, but the lap before his in-lap was the big one as well, Steve. He actually did the fastest lap of the race at that point. He then came in on his in-lap and did 2 fast sectors before he peeled off to the pits. And that's where he made the impact then when it came to getting out of the pit stop. He just led Massa into that turn 1 there. And, you know, a great race by Räikkönen. Good for his team, but great for him. Great performance.
Lewis's pit stop cost him so much, didn't it?
It did indeed. He came into the pits there, and at this point, everything was going fine. Apart from that right front gun there, look, not operating correctly, not getting the wheel off. There's a huge amount of brake dust there. Whether that's going to be a problem once they've looked into it a bit more, we'll have to wait. But it took an extra 10 or 11 seconds in this overall pit stop time. That basically killed his race in terms of getting up maybe for a podium or 4th position.
And he didn't look too certain when he came in for his second pit stop either.
No, it was a little bit longer as well. And I think, again, there's a little bit of a struggle getting that right front off.
But he was philosophical about what he emerges from this race with in terms of points, and that's good from Lewis's point of view.
Yeah, he has to take the rough with the smooth, and I think, you know, Lewis has had a tough day in the office today, and it's going to be a situation which he'll reflect on. He tried to get the extra point from Trulli, but just didn't quite make it. But, you know, he's going to get some of those, like Räikkönen and Massa did in race 1. They didn't score anything.
Felipe Massa has something to absorb as well. Was it a mistake? Was it a failure? What's your verdict?
It's very difficult to say. I've got to be very honest. I mean, that's a situation there with those corners where you're under downforce, you're on the power, and it's a surprise to see the back end of that car step out of alignment. He couldn't catch it, obviously. I don't know whether something gave way on him, but I find it quite difficult to see that it actually made a driving error, but maybe that is the case.
But there must be a question mark over his competitive ability, his ability to take the fight to Kimi Räikkönen in this World Championship battle. He'll feel that at the very least he should have been in the top 3 press conference at the moment, Felipe Massa, but he's left the circuit. But let's get the reaction of the drivers. 1, 2, 3.
Kimi, a fantastic win, and from the start it looked like a very close race between you and your teammate Felipe Massa.
Yeah, I think so. We were pretty similar on the speed wise. Once he went in, my car got much better, because when you 1 second, 2 seconds behind is a massive difference, and I was able to go much quicker on my in lap and was able to pass him. And after that, when you're running on your own on a free air, the car was handling perfectly, and I was able to pull away. And after few laps, I don't know what happened to him, but it was pretty easy race on that point after the first pit stop already.
You're obviously out-qualified by him by a small margin. In retrospect, did that reflect the fuel load, or was the car a lot better on race day than it had been on Saturday?
I mean, I think so. We still have sometimes difficulties to get the qualifying right. It was good in quali 2, but then the last qualifying we couldn't found the grip on the tires, so we knew that we are running 1 lap longer, so I wasn't really panicking. The car usually has been much stronger in the race for us than in the qualifying, so as long as we kept close, and I thought that we will have a good chance to pass him, and it worked out in the first pit stop already. So I mean, the car was very good all weekend, but sometimes on the new tires it's difficult to get the best out of it. So the team did a great job this weekend.
Kimi, you seem to make a very good start as well. Just talk us through the first corner. It was pretty close there, and for a moment it looked as if perhaps you might have a go.
Yeah, I got alongside of Felipe. I got a little bit better start, but I mean, in the situation, I knew that we should run a longer 1 lap. That we don't want to risk between the teammates in the first corner. Maybe if I would have pushed harder, I could have maybe made a pass, but I decided to stay behind and try my move on the pit stop, and I think so it was better for everybody, and it worked out perfectly.
Malaysian Grand Prix, traditionally a very tough race, particularly in terms of the heat, but you jumped out of the car, looked pretty fresh when you got out.
No, it wasn't too bad really. Of course it's more hot than any other race. Even Australia was hot, but I mean in here it's so humid, but for me it was okay. Small issue in the podium.
Champagne under the eyelid there.
Yeah, we should put it in the mouth and not in the eye, but things go wrong sometimes. But anyhow, otherwise has been perfect weekend.
Well done, Kimi, a fantastic win for you. And Robert, congratulations to you too. Your teammate Nick Heidfeld finishing 6th and setting fastest race lap. A great day for the BMW Sauber team.
Yeah, I think fantastic results for the team. Second place in the Grand Prix in the row. So after unlucky Australian Grand Prix, finally podium after Monza 2006. So I'm very happy for myself and for the team.
And it was also a good solid 3rd place from Heikki Kovalainen. Terrific drive from Robert Kubica though.
Great drive from Kubica. I think very impressive as well with BMW. We said at the beginning of the season there's a possibility they'll win a Grand Prix. It cannot be far away. It may take a Ferrari and McLaren to falter, but Kubica or Heidfeld have definitely got the equipment. But a young lad like that coming in, Grand Prix now, 2nd place on the podium, has got to be looking to go one better.
You get the feeling it's going to be one of those seasons where one team is strong at one circuit, another team is strong at another. What are your thoughts for Bahrain in 2 weeks' time?
Well, I say Bahrain, I think, is still going to be Ferrari, and I say also because they went there winter testing. Nobody else did that. They didn't go to the Bahrain circuit. Certainly McLaren didn't. So we've got to go with the assumption they learnt a lot in that winter test. Let's wait and see though, Steve. You know what goes on. Another couple of weeks before we get there, and if a few things could happen in Europe with development. Yeah, let's confirm the Drivers' Championship standings with these 2 races now gone. Lewis Hamilton hanging on to his lead, but now by only 3 points from Kimi Räikkönen. Heidfeld in 3rd, ahead of Heikki Kovalainen, and then Kubica, Rosberg, Alonso and Trulli. What will McLaren have learned from this experience about Ferrari's pace? I think they understand that there is definitely a quick race car with Ferrari, and they also know that the strategy, what they played in qualifying, was strong as well. They also maybe will feel that they could have been a little bit lighter just to make sure they were a bit more prominent come the start of the race. Saying that, a penalty for both cars, put them on the back foot, they still come through pretty good. And Hamilton comes out of it all with a sort of greater sense about what's required in an 18-race World Championship battle. Definitely so. It's a long season ahead of him. He knows there's going to be some ups and downs. This is one of the downs for him. Still got some points, knows that they're going to be vital when it gets to the end of the season, and there is a long way to go, you're right. Mark, thanks very much indeed. So Heikki Kovalainen in 3rd place and Lewis Hamilton in 5th, but race victory for Ferrari's Kimi Räikkönen. Quick reminder of the sport that still remains on ITV today. I know it's still an early hour. It's not long till our football roundup of all the championship goals and action. That's at 10:45 this morning. And then our rerun of this Malaysian Grand Prix will have more driver reaction in our programme at 2:45. Further highlights at 20 past midnight. And then next weekend, boat race day on Saturday. Our coverage of one of the great events of the year starts at 4 o'clock.
And on Sunday at Brands Hatch, the return of the British Touring Car Championship. 5 hours of live coverage on ITV4. And 2 weeks from now, round 3 of the Formula One World Championship. It takes us to Bahrain for live qualifying in the morning at 11:10 your time. Race coverage from 11:30 on Sunday morning. The Bahrain Grand Prix round 3 of the Formula One World Championship. That's Bahrain. But here at Sepang, Kimi Raikkonen has exerted his authority as world champion. He looked a bit of a novice in Australia. He looked a real world champion here today. Raikkonen wins in Malaysia, but Britain's Lewis Hamilton still leads this World Drivers' Championship. Bye-bye.